Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of the C podcast. And today we have Samuel with us. Hello, Samuel. How are you?
Oh, how are you doing today?
Right. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Good.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. I forgot to get your name. You didn't tell me your name the other time.
My name is Dave. My name is Dave. Dave.
Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
Good.
Or you can call me D. Anything out of love. I'm down for it. Anything out of love.
Okay, no problem. Nice to meet you, Dave.
Yeah. Samuel, before we start, I want you to please introduce yourself to our listeners so that they can understand who you are and which background you come from.
Good. My name is Oluwasola Samuel. I'm from Nigeria, in West Africa. Good. So I'm a salesperson, financial salesperson. I sell insurance. That's my 9 to 5. So I sell insurance, and then as my side hustle, I'm a content writer. In fact, health content writer. So I write health content, engaging health content. I write for blogs, for websites, for magazines, and I have a couple of published works.
Right.
I have a couple of published works. So that's that about me. So I also have, I'm very active on LinkedIn. So I'm sure that's how you got me. So,
right.
So
right. So Samuel, how come you're interested in mental health? Like when did this start? In terms of mental health, when was your interest start?
Mental health is not something I actually developed interest in. It just came. You understand? So because actually, before now, I never knew anything about mental health until I started hearing people say, "Oh, I'm depressed, and this, I have this issue." I'm like, "What does this depression mean?"
Right.
It's kind of related to sadness. You understand? But it's not sadness. You understand? It's not sadness. But there's a thin line between sadness and depression. You understand? So at the point in time, I had to just, since I'm a content writer, I had to just Google it and make my findings, and I found out a lot that people are actually suffering from different mental health issues. And our mental health is not something we should take lightly. We should take it very seriously. So I actually didn't maybe develop interest. I just stumbled upon it, and I was like, oh, why are people just people is kind of rampant these days. Oh, I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm that. So I asked just go into it, let me see what I can find. And I found out that a lot of people are actually suffering from this thing, and this thing is actually real. And some people are actually suffering from it. They don't even know they are suffering from it.
Right.
That's one thing about it. And some people actually even know they are suffering from it, but they don't even, they are kind of hiding it. They don't want to talk to anybody about it due to the stigmatization that comes with mental health issues. So majorly that's how I got to know about mental health. So that's it.
Right. So Samuel, is there any personal experience that might have triggered you, or that might have wanted you to know about it, or understand and help your friends about it? Is any kind of personal situations that might have happened to you?
Yeah, one to me, yes, one.
Yeah. Okay.
I can tell you a series of not personal experience, but experiences others have had in the past. Now, let me start with mine first.
Right.
Now, for me, back in 2015, I guess, it's 2015, I was actually unemployed, and I had a child, a wife and a child. So I was, as an unemployed person, I was not able to feed my family. I was not able to take good care of myself. I was not able to, do what a man should do at home. Actually, it was my wife that was actually doing everything for me. So I felt useless. I felt like there was no hope for me. There's no way, because I've sent out series of CVs, all rejected. So I felt hopeless. I felt there was nothing for me in this world anymore. So what now happened was, on a particular day, I just told my wife, "Oh, I'm coming. I need to get some." Actually, my intention was just cross the road and get knocked down by a vehicle. That was my plan, actually. That was my plan. So while I was standing close by the road, when I was standing close to the roadside, so I was there standing. So there was this thought coming to my mind: oh, cross and just end it, just a few seconds, and the thing will be gone. And and something was also telling me, don't do it. You have a great future. You have a bright future. There's something. You're special. You're this. You're that. And the other voice was still telling me, it's a lie. You've tried many times. Nobody loves you. Nobody cares for you. You are not good enough. You are this. You're that. So while I was still contemplating whether to take that step or not, someone just tapped me on the back and said, "Oh, young man, what are you doing here? If you want to cross, you can cross. Or do you need someone to help you cross over to the other side?" I said, "No, I didn't say anything. I just wept." So he was like, "What happened? What happened to you?" So he took me to the side and to ask me what happened. I told him my experience. I explained everything to him, and he said something that he was once in my situation before. He was once unemployed. He had nothing. His wife fed him for close to 3 good years, and what does this say? Yes, that his wife felt that today he has about 3 cars. He can afford anything he wants in his life. Right? That I don't need to end my life this way. That I'm a young man. I still have a lot of years ahead of me. So why end it because of something small, something just little to him? Right. At that point, it might be little, but to me, it's something huge. I could feel that pressure. I could feel that pain. I could feel that hopelessness in me. So he told me that I can still make it. And what I did, I turned back. I gave him my contact, and I think 6 months after, I got a job. And everything changed for good. And glory be to God, today I'm able to see you and share my experience with you. And so that's it.
I'm very much grateful to that man, and also to you. You had the option. Somehow you were saved, and I'm really happy that I'm able to talk to you right now. Because it would have been a sad story, honestly, if I wouldn't have met you and wouldn't have spoke to you. It's really surreal to be able to see you and talk to you right now. I think that's the beauty of life, I guess. We all have ups and downs, and we all have problems at some point or the other. But then making through it is the biggest attribute that we all have. We all can. It just takes us little hope, little time. In order to complete all of that. But I'm sure good times eventually come after the hard times, if at all. Thanks, Samuel. Thanks a lot. I mean, it's really great. I mean, I didn't expect this. I mean, we also had a small talk before we started the conversation. But I was like, "What do you want to talk about? What are the topics you wish to talk about?" You were like, "I want to talk about mental health and a little bit about depression." I thought maybe you are someone who might have experienced a little bit, and then you just wanted to share your story. But this seems different, because sometimes when you're in depression, you actually force yourself to end yourself, end your life as well. Sometimes we try to self-harm ourselves in a way which not only affects us, but people surrounding us. I'm sure that day with you, if at all something would have happened, it would have much more affected your family as well. So
yes.
Right. And I'm happy that you're here, and I'm really grateful for that old man. Are you in contact? I mean, any way that you might be in contact with him?
Yes. I still have his contact.
Okay, nice.
I still have his contact, and every time I send him monthly messages, yearly messages, and all those things. I will send him messages, so that's it.
Right. So Samuel, tell me. So, you were in a place like that. It was completely dark for you. You couldn't see hope. But then suddenly you were stopped, and then for the next 6 months, I'm sure you have tried a lot. Struggled a lot, so that you could get a job for yourself, so that you could be finally out of your depression as well. So, how did that journey was for you? I mean, how was that journey exactly for you?
It was still painful, but I just had a break of hope that if that man could actually get get help, was actually saved in the end. That means there's something for me. That's why when you're depressed, you need to speak out.
Right.
You need to speak out. It's very important, because when you speak out, you either might get either medications, depressants, or you get to talk to a psychotherapist. And when you talk to a psychotherapist, the psychotherapist might talk to your mind, your heart. You understand? So when he's doing that, he's trying to make you see life from another angle, that there's hope somewhere. He does not know where the hope is, but he's trying to assure you that there's hope somewhere. And also, it's also good to have, let me say, like a group therapist with people who have suffered and who have actually survived depression. So for those who are coming in, who are depressed, coming in to take the therapy session, we're able to see those who have survived and moved from being depressed to a state of normalcy. So they'll be able to look from that angle and say, okay, and make use of the strategies they used, in getting themselves cured. So it's also good to actually, have it in group, so that we can learn from others who have survived this depression. So for me, it was still tough. I was alone. I just kept remembering what that man said, that there's still hope somewhere, and I can find it. And luckily for me, a friend of mine just called me sometime, I think about 5 months after that time, and he told me, okay, send your CV down here and let's work on it. And something was, he worked on it and sent it to his organization, and lo and behold, I was employed, and the story changed. Right. And I was able to tell those who are actually unemployed and were in my own situation, that I was once in your shoes. I was once in your situation. I was down, depressed. I felt hopeless, and I gave them light. I gave them hope. So that was it for me.
Right. So Samuel, you have also just mentioned the importance of opening up. I mean, it's obvious that we need to open up. We need to have someone, let it be friends, family, or someone we trust upon, to at least listen to us and help us, understand what's going on, and talk to us basically, in order to help us out. So I wanted to understand, did you open up with your wife or with your friends? Like, who did you open up? Who did you talk to? Who was that trusted one?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I didn't.
So that was why I suffered for long.
Right. Mm-hmm. And after that,
I suffered for long.
Right. And after the man, I mean, after he helped you, what happened then? Did you talk to your wife then, at least?
Yes, I did.
Right.
That was like a year or two later. I told her, I was once depressed. She was like, no, you're very jovial, you're fun to be with, you're always happy. But she never knew.
Right.
As men, we like to bottle our emotions.
Right.
You know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you have some kind of emotion, but society as a whole has classified us as people that actually bottle their emotion. We don't want people to know. We don't want them to see. Make them feel or perceive you as a weakling or as a weak person. So you have to bottle it and try and fight it within you. So, but as for women, they like to show they are very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
They're very emotional. Any little thing can trigger it for them.
Right.
Can trigger it for them. But for us, you might still look, okay, let me give it a try. And a try till you get to your to the tipping point where you start to feel, I think I need to end this. Right. I think I need to end this. You understand? So for me, I spoke to her, I think two years after. And she was like, wow, why didn't I tell her? I told her I couldn't summon the courage to actually tell you what I was going through. I was in self-denial.
Right.
You understand? So I was denying it that I was going through this. So that was just it for me.
Right. You have rightly mentioned again. We men, men are usually, they're hard targets. They we are just supposed to be hard. We have to work on, and we have to feed the family or stuff like that. I mean, all the societal pressures that men have. I think many succumb to that, and they just get afraid to share their ideas. Afraid to actually share what they are feeling inside, and I think that's really toxic. So what do you think? I mean, how do you think we can end this? How can we encourage men to talk and, make things normal? What are your views? What are your opinions on this?
Now, I only have one thing to say,
Mhm.
and that is, it's okay not to be okay.
Right. Irrespective of gender.
It's okay not to be okay.
Right.
You understand? So if you feel you're not okay, you're in distress, you're feeling pains, you have mood swing, or you have something different from your normal self, I think you need to speak up. Just like I said, as the society perceives us as strong people, and we should bottle our emotion. I don't think we don't need to bottle it. We need to speak out. Speaking out doesn't mean you are weak. Speaking out doesn't mean you're a weakling. It doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. No, it means that you care for yourself, you care for your mental health, you care for your life, for your loved ones. Because speaking out actually helps you find solution quickly. And also, you need to be mindful of whom you speak with when it comes to mental health. Some people might actually worsen it, might tell you, oh, you. But not for my case, I'm very jovial, I play a lot. So it's very difficult for you to even know that, okay, this person is actually depressed. So when someone who is jovial, very fun to deal with, tells you, oh, I'm depressed, you have a second thought. Is this serious? Right. You start joking with the person. So, but if the person is an introvert, the person is always indoors, it's not necessarily maybe the person has maybe the person is depressed, but just likes to be alone, everything alone, doesn't want to come out. You understand? For such a person, if the person says he or she is depressed, you can see from his point of view, okay, it's true, maybe due to loneliness or maybe lack of love or something. You can believe that person. But when someone who is jovial, fun to deal with, always the first person to say, oh, let's go out, let's do this, let's have fun, and he's telling you he's depressed, you're like, wow, I don't understand. In fact, you'll be in a state of confusion than the person, because you'll be like, oh, I don't believe you. Do you know what depression means? You ask him, do you know what depression means? And the person, I'm depressed. Sometimes you feel maybe the person is just joking or making fun. So that's just what I would say to people is it's okay not to be okay. Speak up. Let people know what you're dealing with. You understand? You can't deal with it alone. If you say you want to deal with it alone, you may end up killing yourself or hurting some people, directly or indirectly. So that's just it for me.
Well, thanks a lot, Samuel. I'm sure our listeners who are listening to us, they're trying to understand your story and get somewhat inspired and speak up as well. Thanks for joining us again. Before we leave, I have many things to talk about. I just wanted to understand how you and your family now.
Sure, we are okay. We are good. We have moved from the state where we were before. We've moved from there. We've moved higher to where we are today. So it's great. Sometimes depression itself, can be caused by different things.
Right.
It can be caused by different things, and number one is, let me say, unemployment. Can cause it. Family background might cause it. Family pressure, work pressure, stress. What else again? Traumatic events. Loneliness, use of drugs, use of alcohol, right. Financial status, maybe you're not able to afford the basic needs of life, and you think, if I can't afford the basic needs of life, then I'm hopeless. I don't have I'm worthless. I don't deserve to be alive. All those things. Then also family pressure, like maybe as a man or as a woman. Maybe you're in this part of the world, you're in Nigeria or in Africa, or let me say Nigeria. Now, what most mothers do is they pressure their daughters to get married when it starts And when they are done with their university education, and they'll be like, oh, you're done with your university education. What are you waiting for? You need to get yourself married. And they've forgotten about the career path of the woman. Oh, the lady might have aspirations to be, a doctor, have aspirations to be this and that, but they just bring up the option of marriage. Oh, you need to get married, and the lady might decide, oh, I don't want to get married now. I need to focus on my career. I need to do this. I need to do that. And don't be surprised if the parent keeps pressuring the lady might end up, committing suicide. And let me just end it all, and maybe when I'm gone, they will be calm. So that too can happen. Also, emotional factor too. Emotional factor when it comes to maybe love. Maybe you feel you're not loved. You feel you're not nobody loves you. People hate you. You understand? Maybe in a marriage, when maybe a woman is not feeling loved. You understand? So the person can fall into depression. And also low self-esteem too. Low self-esteem. You have low self-esteem about yourself. You feel, oh, you don't deserve this. You're not good enough. You don't have business. So those factors can contribute to depression. And depression itself it has no age limit. It can happen to either a child or an adult.
Right.
Understand? It can happen to anybody. So that's it for me.
Right. And I think somehow we also undermine the problems that a teenager might face, or also a child, as you have told. It can happen to any time. Irrespective of the gender or the age as well. We just sometimes, I think, you might also have gone through certain situations where people deny the feelings of someone who are younger than them, basically who are young. They don't think that what might be the problem that they might be facing, but they also face, because most of the self-harm cases that happens according to statistics, it also involves young ones. They also go through, let it be childhood trauma or school, something like that. So I wanted to understand if at all you have seen someone, or have been to a certain someone who you might have addressed, or let's say confronted, who might be having depression anytime.
The question again, please.
Did you ever find a young one, in Nigeria or someone like that, who would be, might be facing potentially depression?
You see, there's something about depression you need to actually, well, let me say no, but like I said initially, a lot of people are suffering from depression that they didn't even know about.
Right.
That's number one. Some people are suffering from it, but they are in self-denial. They don't want to speak out. They don't want to speak about it. So what I feel is that people are actually depressed, but most of them don't know that they are suffering from depression. You understand? I've seen a child, or heard of a child, who was molested at school, and the child is I think was being bullied in school, and she never had the courage of speaking up to her parents. So she didn't have the courage of speaking to her parents, but she spoke with her mom. No, her sister. But sister thought she was just joking. So that actually resulted in her killing herself eventually. So she killed herself eventually, and she was age 12. So that's why it's always important to speak to your children. Your loved ones, speak to them, let them know, okay, if you are going through anything in school, you are free to speak up, speak to me, talk to me. You understand? Right. Because the more they keep bottling it, the more they keep keeping it to themselves, they might choose the wrong option, and they might feel like, oh, if I commit suicide, that means I'll be free from this person. You understand? Right. So that would be the thought. That would be the escape plan. The escape route, the escape route. So that would be like the easiest actually. So you end up seeing them maybe jumping from story buildings, or maybe doing some funny things. Yes, you understand? So it happens. Just that some people aren't aware that that's what they are suffering from. Right. So basically that's it.
Right. And what might be the answers for this? I mean, I think effective communication with your parents, with loved ones, and of course, it's really complicated. When actually someone is suffering, they don't function normally. That's the problem. People they don't understand what to do. I think that is why we are
Yes.
trying to spread the awareness, because they just think, as you have told, they find their own escape routes or escape plans. That is what they do. And
Yes.
I think it has to go. I mean, this message has to go to everyone out there so that they can understand, how exactly we can go. I mean, as an organization ourselves, we try to make sure that we, give the right place for people to understand, and talk about their mental health freely. I think that is what we can do, and I'm hoping for a better future.
Yeah. I think governments and bodies, even hospitals, should actually put in place some things, or put in place programs to actually sensitize people about this. A lot of people are suffering from mental health issues.
Right.
But they don't know about it. So if hospitals, clinics, government and organizations can actually sensitize people about this, and people are more aware of this feeling, this situation, I think a lot of people will be able to speak up and talk to maybe their loved ones, or maybe look for a psychotherapist where they can have sessions. Understand? Here in Nigeria, I think when I made my research, I found out there are some organizations that offer free therapy sessions. I think about I got 3 organizations. Yes, 3. They offer free therapist, psychotherapist meetings with their patients. So from there on, they can actually pay this amount. But in the first instance, they'll try to know, okay, what is the problem? What are you suffering from? How are you feeling? Try to know about the person and where the person's background, the person's financial status, and try to know some things, kind of personal to the person, so that they can actually know what the person is suffering from. It might not even be depression. It might be mood, might be anxiety disorder. Understand? So it can be any of those things. So I think governments and world leaders should actually talk more about this. Understand?
Right.
Before now, climate change. Climate change advocates were talking about climate change, but most government never took it seriously. It was until we started experiencing flooding and climate changes, that was when they started
realizing
that this thing is actually true. So I think we should actually create awareness about this thing, so that people can actually be aware and speak out, talk to somebody, don't be in self-denial. So that's just it for me.
Right. Well, thanks, Samuel. And as an organization ourselves, we are trying for it. And as I've mentioned, let's hope for better. Well, thanks again, Samuel. Thanks for joining us. It was great talking to you. And how was your experience talking to us?
It's been lovely, smooth, and also I was able to learn a thing or two from you.
Right, definitely.
Yeah. So I would like to know how many people are on this call, please.
Sorry, I didn't.
How many people are on this call?
On this call, like it's just you and me right now.
Okay, just both of us. Okay.
Yeah, just you and me. Okay. Well, great then, Samuel. It was great talking to you then, and as we have mentioned earlier, let's hope for better. And thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing your experience as well. And we'll be coming back with many such episodes. Trying to make sure that we share the awareness as much as possible. All right.
Yeah, no problem. But I would really like to speak to a lot of audience, so they can actually experience and share my experience.
Right.
I hope to share my experience, teach them, or not even teach. Maybe from my experience, they'll be able to learn.
Right.
Learn from me and other experts when it comes to mental health.
No, definitely.
So
I'm sure, our listeners would definitely, listen to your story. I'm sure you'll be inspiring many. And yeah, let's have another session someday. We have lots of webinars going on. Maybe we'd be happy to have you there so that you can talk and inspire people there as well. All right.
no problem. Right. I'll be waiting.
Sure, Samuel. Thanks a lot, Samuel. It was great talking to you. Take care. Bye.
So you can follow me on LinkedIn. My name, Oluwasola Samuel.
Right.
Search for it. So you get me.
Sure, Samuel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.